Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're going to take a look at the second selection box in April 2021. And just like any other month, there will be 12 different Tsums to select from. But honestly, none of these 12 really stand out to me. There are going to be some that are going to be good for coins and for score, but nothing that's going to be too outstanding. I do like Queen Elsa for the purpose of missions, but let's get right into it. Let me share with you what my top 3 are going to be. I like Queen Elsa, Jasmine, and Lotso. So those are going to be my top 3. And let me talk a little bit about Queen Elsa and why I like Queen Elsa and why I rate her number 1 out of these 12. Queen Elsa is going to be really good for those bingo missions and any missions where you need to do long chain. Queen Elsa's description is freezes surrounding Tsum Tsum along with the connected ones. And stay tuned towards the end of the video. I will do a side-by-side comparison for my top 3, which is Queen Elsa, Jasmine, and Lotso, so you can see why I selected those 3 as my top 3. If you want to top the next runner-up, will be Maui, and we'll get to Maui. But the reason why I like Queen Elsa is she is really good at making really long chains. So any of those bingo cards or missions where it requires you to connect or create a chain that's like, I don't know, like 32 chains or 20 chains in one play. Queen Elsa is really good at that if you don't have any of the other Elsas or any other Tsums that make a really long chain. Because what happens is she freezes all the Tsums and then you just tap it and then it becomes a chain. Well, you need to connect all of them and then tap it, but I'll show you later on what that looks like. But for now, let's move on to the next one. Next we have a Chernabog. And this one is he will clear a vertical line of Tsum. So nothing too unique here. Pretty standard. The animation is also pretty standard. Just a vertical line of Tsum gets cleared. Next, there's Fred. Fred is a really cool Tsum in my opinion. I really like all of the Big Hero 6 Tsum. So because of that, I do really like Fred, and his animation is pretty cool as well. But the description for Fred is clears Tsums from the bottom and right of the screen. So there is 2 parts to his animation. Part of it clears and then fire gets spit out. So it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't have him at a pretty high skill level, so he's not great for me. But I think if you get him to a pretty high skill level, Fred could be pretty good. Alright, next we have Zurg. Zurg is from Toy Story, and because of that, Zurg is pretty cool as well. His animation is essentially a bunch of, I think, either laser beams or balls get shot out, and it clears random Tsums in one go. So it's pretty cool, nothing too spectacular. It's pretty easy to use, but not anything in the top 3. And then we have Happy Pooh. So Happy Pooh, the description is pots appear that can be cleared with Pooh and removes nearby Tsum too. So what happens is randomly pots will replace some of the Tsums, and if you connect Pooh with the honey pots, it will burst the surrounding areas as well. It doesn't work out too great because you still need to connect a chain, so although that the ability is fun to use, it's not that useful. Next we have Wally. Actually, this is probably, unfortunately, one of my least favorite ones. The description is shrinks a horizontal line of Tsums. They'll disappear when you clear neighboring Tsums. So the reason why I don't really like Wally is that all the Tsums gets really small and it's kind of hard for me to see, and it's really hard to clear as well. So for that reason, I don't really like Wally. But if you're playing on like maybe a big iPad or something and you can see all the little Tsums, then yeah, maybe that'll be good. But for me, it was pretty tough to use, so I don't really like Wally from my perspective. And then next we have Flash. So Flash is also my second to last least favorite. So it's between Wally and Flash. And the reason why I don't really like Flash is that his ability just slows down time for a little bit during the animation. So ultimately you're just getting additional time to play the game regularly. So there's no boost to anything essentially. You just play normally and you clear things. It's kind of funny though, like his animation is really funny and cute. But besides that, nothing really too spectacular for Flash. Although I'm really close to maxing out Flash, so I am kind of tempted to try to get a few boxes to see if I can max out Flash. Alright, so next, Jasmine. Jasmine is, the description, clears a horizontal line of Tsums, and this one I like Jasmine, and she's my top 3 because she's really easy to use, very low charge up time, so you can activate her ability pretty often, And if you play her well, she could actually be a coin earner at a pretty high, if you have her at a pretty high level. So that's why she's in my top 3. Alright, so getting down to the last 4. Alright, so next we have Cruella DeVille. And she clears Tsum Tsum in a shape of an S. So her animation is that she drives a car in an S shape and clears Tsums on the screen kind of diagonally. Not that great in my opinion, because you need to make sure that pretty much your entire screen has to be full of Tsums, or else you're just wasting her ability. So for that reason, I don't really like her ability. Then we have Maui. So Maui is actually not too bad as well. That's why I have her in like number 4. But Maui's animation is random, or description is random effects, so random we don't even know what it does. But we kind of know what it does. There is 2 parts to Maui's animation. The first part is his hook comes down, and then there are 3 possible animation that comes up after that. So either a vertical line of Tsum gets cleared, which is a pretty big vertical line, or a circle gets formed from the fish in the ocean, and then they all turn into Maui. And then third, fish bounces across the screen, creating magic bubbles. So it's going to be between those 3. So although they are going to be random, it's going to be random between those 3 type of animation. And if you get lucky, if you get all of the vertical clears, that's actually pretty good for coins. So the reason why Maui's number 4 instead of number 3 is that his random, or the animations are random, and you can't control which ones you get. So you may get stuck with the bubble one, which is probably the worst one out of the 3. Then it's not going to be great for coins and bubbles. Coins and score. But if you could get the vertical clear, then Maui's actually pretty good. Alright, so next we have Olaf. And Olaf's description is a big snowball rolls away a diagonal line of Disney Tsum Tsum. So Olaf will come from the top left and ends at the bottom right corner, and a bunch of Tsums gets cleared. So pretty cool, and could be used for a high level, but really not that great for coins and for score. Maybe like top 5, I would say, if you have everything else maxed out. And then finally, we have Lotso. And Lotso is, first of all, very cute. His description is deletes all Tsums on the bottom of the screen. So kind of like one of the top scare Sully, where bottom of the screen gets cleared. Similarly to Lotso, does the same thing. But what I like about Lotso is that the bubbles don't burst when the bottom of the screen gets popped. So these are the 12. So now what I want to do is to go over with you the top 3, which is Queen Elsa, Jasmine, and Lotso, and then just show you a side-by-side comparison between all 3 of these Tsums. And I'll kind of walk you through on some of the animation and the coins and why I like them. Okay, so we have Queen Elsa on the left, and I have her at skill level 5. And then in the middle, we have Lotso at skill level 6, and Jasmine on the right at skill level 6 as well. So let's take a look at Queen Elsa first. And again, her ability essentially will turn all the Tsums you connect and surrounding Tsums into ice cubes. So check this out. And the animation is pretty cool. The castle shows up, so a bunch of Tsums will freeze around the areas where you freeze them. And then you tap it, and all the Tsums will clear. So as you see there, I got a chain of 42. So Queen Elsa is going to be great for those chain missions. And if you play fast, you can actually do a lot more chains. So if you're not using Queen Elsa for the chain purposes, you could actually keep going and freeze a bunch more Tsums. Alright, so I'm going to turn your attention to the middle. We have Lotso. So Lotso will clear all the Tsums in the bottom half, and check this out, there's a bubble there, and it got bumped up to the top, and the bubble doesn't burst. And that's one thing I really like about Lotso, is that even though there's a bubble in towards the bottom of the screen, it won't get destroyed, and it just gets bumped up, and you could use it for the future. And then finally on the right, we have Jasmine, and her animation is that she will jump on her little magic carpet and then flies across the screen. One thing about using Jasmine though is you want to make sure that the center area is filled with Tsums before you activate it, or else like something like that would happen, where some of the Tsums don't get cleared, and there was a gap there, so therefore you get a lower chain, therefore a lower score, and less earning potential. And you also want to get rid of the bubbles too, because the bubbles also lowers your coin earning potential. You see right there, I only got 19 chains. So with the max of like close to 30, definitely missing out on a lot of opportunities. So what you want to do, you just want to make sure the center area is full of Tsums before you activate it. Jasmine is actually a really good coin earner, so just try to get her at a pretty high skill level and make sure the center area has Tsums. So there you have it. Here are the results for all three of these. Lotso and Jasmine are good for coins. And then Queen Elsa is good for missions. So that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please hit the subscribe button for more Tsum Tsum content. And as always, thank you so much for watching.